It was April 6, 1983. This is Joe Todd, an interview with Pearl Hickman. Mrs. Hickman, where were you born?
I was born in Coffin, Illinois.
And when's your birthday?
February the 19th, 1900.
Who was your father?
Alexander Benton Hickman.
Was he from Illinois?
Yes, he was from Coffin, Illinois.
And who was your mother?
Martha Lucinda Yeck Hickman.
When did your parents come to Oklahoma?
In 1901. That's when I came.
How come they came to Oklahoma?
My father was a carpenter working in the mines in East St. Louis, Illinois, and the mines shut down for the summer, and his uncle, James Bateman, wrote him to come to Oklahoma to build houses. My father was a carpenter, and he came to Chickasha, Oklahoma in 1901.
How'd you come to Oklahoma? By train or by wagon?
On train.
On the train?
The Rock Island train.
You were, what, a year old?
1 year old.
1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
What's your first memories of Chickasha?
First memory of Chickasha?
Mm-hmm.
The parades, I imagine. The Ringling Brothers parades.
So you went to the circus then?
Yeah, we went to the circus. They had a circus almost every year.
What was the circus like?
Oh, animals and clowns, horseback riders, bareback riders.
Did your parents take you?
Yes.
Yeah. Do they have rides like they have today, like carousels?
The merry-go-round?
Yeah.
Sure. That was the main attraction for kids.
How old were you when you first went to the circus?
Oh, about 5.
Was that the Ringling Brothers?
Barnum and Bailey. The Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey.
Mm-hmm. What year did you start the school?
Start the school when I was 6 years old.
Now, did you live in Chickasha, in town?
Yes, we lived in town in Chickasha.
Yeah. What was the name of the school that you started?
The North Building.
That was the name of it?
That was the name of it.
How come it was called North Building?
They had one in the north part of town and one in the south part of town, and one in the east part of town was for the colored. The Negroes were segregated from the whites in my early day.
Mm-hmm. Remember your teacher's name, your favorite teacher?
Henrietta Pyle. She was my kindergarten teacher.
Mm-hmm.
What they call kindergarten in those days.
What was kindergarten like?
Oh, Henrietta's mother built volcanoes out in the yard, and we had parades, marched.
What were the parades for? Any special holiday?
No, we just paraded like soldiers.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me some of the chores you did around the house as a child?
I carried in the coal and the wood, chopped the kindling to build the fires. We used coal and wood stoves. We didn't have gas and electric heating when I was a child.
Mm-hmm. Did you help your mother do the laundry?
Sure, we washed on an old washboard in an old tin wash tub.
Did you do that inside or outside?
We in the summer you did it on the outside, and in the winter you had a kitchen. Summer, what you call a summer kitchen, and you did it on. It was an extra little building out for cooking and washing.
How far was it from the house, the summer kitchen?
Oh, it was just, I don't know how far. It wasn't too far, about 50 feet.
Mm-hmm. Did you help your mother iron?
Sure. We ironed with an old side iron. You heat it on the cook stove and ironed.
Did you have just one iron?
Oh no, you had 2 or 3 irons because 2 or 3 of you ironed at the same time.
Mm-hmm. How much of a dress or a shirt did you iron before it got cold? How much of a dress or a shirt did you iron before it got cold?
I don't think I ever ironed a dress. Mm-hmm. I ironed the pillowcases and sheets and things like that.
Could you get a whole pillowcase ironed before you had to reheat the iron?
Yeah, sure. The iron would be hot. It would stay hot long enough to iron one garment. I didn't iron garments, but to iron one garment, the iron stayed hot enough to iron one garment.
What kind of house did you live in?
House?
Yeah.
It was just a regular frame house.
How large was it?
Oh, it had a parlor and a living room and a dining room and bedrooms and kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
2 bedrooms.
Was it a one-story house?
1-story house. Oh no, I lived in a 1-story house to begin with, but we built a big 2-story and a half house with a circular porch and
in Chickasha?
in Chickasha.
Mm-hmm. What part of town did you live in?
A part of town?
Yeah.
I lived in the north part.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me who some of the prominent people were in Chickasha that you remember as a child?
Oh, let's see. Owsley's Jewelry Store and Abercrombie's Grocery and Spencer's Grocery and Utterback's racket store. It was like the dime stores now, the TG&Y stores now. It was like that, but they called it a racket store.
A racket store?
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me what the main street at Chickasha looked like at that time?
Oh, it was dirt street and built up board sidewalks.
Well, most of the buildings frame or brick?
They were all frame.
They were?
Uh-huh.
When was Chickasha founded?
When?
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I don't know.
Do you remember Statehood Day in Chickasha?
Statehood Day?
Yeah.
When the state became, in 1907,
Yes, ma'am.
November the 16th, 1907. Yes, I remember. I was almost 8 years old.
What was that day like?
It was all the church bells rang and the whistles blew, and it sounded like the town was on fire, and we ran to the phone and phoned downtown to find out what was going on, and they said President Teddy Roosevelt had signed the bill making Oklahoma a state. That was November 16th, 1907.
What did you and your family do when you found out?
When we found out? Oh, we were just out in the yard, and we just, like I said, we ran to the phone to find out. And that's all we did.
Did you do any celebrating?
No. Mm-mm.
Did you go through high school in Chickasha?
Sure.
What year did you graduate?
1920.
1920. Do you remember World War I? 1917, 1918.
Sure, the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, the First World War. Sure. All of our, and the kids at school, we joined an army and marched and paraded, practiced marching like we were going to war.
Did you do any work for the war effort?
No, I was in high school.
What about your mother? Did she knit the socks or the scarves for the soldiers?
Yeah, I think she did. I can't remember whether she did more crocheting than she did knitting. I don't think she knitted anything, but they did. The women did knit for the soldiers.
What about the Red Cross in Chickasha? What kind of activities do they have organized?
I don't remember anything about the Red Cross in Chickasha. I don't think they had the Red Cross. If they did, I wasn't familiar with it.
How many boys in Chickasha went to the war?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea how many boys went to war. There weren't very many boys.
How big was Chickasha then during the war?
Population?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
What about Armistice Day? What was that day like?
We had two Armistice Day. They stopped the war on the, let's see, it ended on the 11th of November. But on the 9th of November, they announced that the war had ended, and then they called it off so that they could end the war on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And that's when they ended the First World War. The 11th day of November at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Were there big celebrations in Chickasha?
Yeah, there was a big celebration downtown. Everybody, they just went downtown and hooped it up.
When did they start that women's college in Chickasha?
Let's see, it was called OCW, Oklahoma College for Women, is what it was called at the time it was began. And it was, let's see, it was before, it was about 19, I don't know, it was before 1909. We moved to the farm for 2 years in 1909, and it was already there. It was before 1909, but I don't know exactly what date.
Did you ever go on the grounds of the school as a child?
On the grounds of the
Did you
school?
ever visit the school as a child?
The college?
Yeah.
Sure.
What did it look like? What did the college look like?
It was just a big building. It was brick building.
How
But
many students attended the college?
I have no idea how many. They came from all over the state. It was a school for girls.
Do you remember who was head of the school?
I can't recall his name.
Yeah. Did most of the girls live in the school, or did they board out in Chickasha?
Most of them lived in the dormitories. They had Nellie Sparks' dormitory. James Buchanan Sparks married an Indian woman, and he had one daughter and named her Nellie, and every Indian born in Oklahoma before 1909 was given head rights, 160 acres of land each. And Nellie got that was her head right, that property that James Buchanan Sparks donated to the Oklahoma College for Women. OCW we called it.
And that was her father?
That was James Buchanan Sparks was her father. We called him Uncle Buck.
What kind of man was he?
Oh, he was just an old cowboy-like man. When I knew him, he was around in his 70s.
How come he gave that land for a woman's college?
I told you, because his daughter Nellie, she had died, and he gave it in her name.
And he set it up to be a woman's college then. He gave the land.
He gave it to be a college for girls. Oklahoma College for Women.
And you say you moved to the farm in 1909. How far from Chickasha was the farm?
6 miles.
6 miles east?
West.
West. How large was the farm?
40 acres.
What'd you raise?
Broom corn, cotton and corn, and of course we had a garden.
You chop cotton?
I chopped cotton for 2 years
How do you chop cotton?
with a hoe.
I mean, how do you do it?
Oh, you go along and space the plants. See, they just sow the seed in a drill, and when the plants come up, you have to cut them out about 12 inches apart so that they could branch out and make big cotton plants.
Then you have to weed them and all that?
Sure, we hoed it,
You pick
chopped
cotton?
cotton.
You pick cotton also?
You had to pick it in the fall.
How many pounds did you pick in a day?
Not very many. Some people could pick 100 pounds a day, but I didn't pick that much. We didn't have that big a farm.
Was there a gin in Chickasha?
Yeah, there was a cotton gin, Chickasha Cotton Oil Company.
Who ran that?
Wooten, R.K. Wooten.
Did you know him?
Sure, he was the rich man of Chickasha.
What was he like?
Just a regular old pioneer.
What kind of house did he live in?
A big 2-story frame house.
And he lived in the farm 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
How come he moved to the farm?
Oh, Dad wanted a farm. He had been on a farm in his childhood, and he wanted a farm, so we traded our house in Chickasha for that farm out there 6 miles west of Chickasha.
How many houses did your father build in Chickasha? You say he was a carpenter.
I have no idea how many houses he built. He built most all of them to begin with.
A lot of them still standing?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Then you say you had a 2-story house.
Uh-huh.
Did he build that also?
Yeah, he built that. He and Mama built that at night after he worked all day till 6 o'clock at night. Then he'd come home and he and Mama built that house, 2-story. That's the one we traded for the farm.
So you traded back?
Hmm?
So, in 1911...
Yeah, and we traded back when we came, 1911, we came back to Chickasha. We traded for a house out on 927 South 16th Street out close to the college.
What kind of house did you have on the farm?
On the farm?
Yeah.
Well, when we got there, it was just a barn-like structure, but Mom and Dad slept in it, and we kids slept out under a brush arbor. It was in August when we went. It was warm weather, and while during that time, Dad built us a 4-roomed house on the farm.
So your father decided he wouldn't be a farmer anymore and he moved back to town.
Yeah. Well, while he was on the farm, he got a job in town with Lee's planing mill.
Lee's planing mill.
Uh-huh.
What kind of business was that?
Sort of making lumber. It's sort of a lumber yard.
What did your
Lumber.
father do for him?
I don't know. I guess he just ran the machinery. I don't know what he did. He was sort of a jack of all trades. He could do most anything he set his hand to.
Was Chickasha mainly a farming town? Farming people?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was the main business besides the planing mill and the cotton gin?
The mercantile store and the racket store.
Who owned the mercantile?
Eagle Mercantile. It was, I can't remember their name.
What did you do in the 1920s after you graduated from high school?
I went to work.
Where'd you go to work?
I went to work for the county treasurer's office in the courthouse.
What'd you do for them?
I was in the county treasurer's office where we collected taxes.
Well, were you just a secretary or stenographer or?
I took stenographic training in high school, but in that we just wrote tax receipts. I was just sort of a...
You just made receipts out for taxes?
Mm-hmm. We wrote out tax receipts when the people would come in and pay their taxes.
How long did you work there?
9 years.
9 years. Were there many flappers in Chickasha?
How many?
Yeah, were there many of them?
Sure, there was, girls' school was full of them.
What did they do for recreation, the flappers?
Oh, we danced and played tennis and rode horseback.
Were you a flapper?
Sure. I did the Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever hear of the Charleston Dance?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Were there a shortage of men for dates in Chickasha?
mm-hmm. We had 2 world wars.
Mm-hmm.
And it was mostly... See, there was so many girls.
Yeah. Where'd you go on your dates?
Picture show, took walks. We'd go in gangs, taking walks. We'd walk out over the country, over the countryside.
What kind of dresses did you wear?
Color.
What kind of dresses? What style?
Oh, and when we were flappers, we wore them up to our knees. And before that, we wore them down to our ankles. And we wore midi blouses and pleated skirts for school wear.
Did you have a uniform to wear to school? Or?
Well, it wasn't we didn't have to have a uniform. We were in high school. But it was sort of a uniform. It was midi blouse. You know what sailor's blouse?
Yeah.
That's what you call a midi blouse.
Okay.
A midshipman.
Yeah. How did the Depression affect you of the 30s?
I got along all right because I had a job, and I didn't have any trouble. I was better off during the Depression than I was before because things came down. They didn't cost so much.
Where were you working during the Depression?
Let's see, where was I working? When was the Depression?
In the 30s.
Well, I came to Oklahoma City and worked for the Great American Insurance Company in 1930. So I was working, I had a job. People that didn't have jobs.
Yeah. What'd you do for the Great American Insurance Company?
I was a stenographer, took dictation from several men, and
What kind of salary did you make with the insurance company?
$100 a month.
Is that pretty good?
Yeah, that was very good. And when I got up to 110, that was excellent.
Where'd you live in Oklahoma City?
Let's see, I lived at the YWCA to begin with.
What was the Y like?
Just like any girls' school.
How many girls stayed there?
I don't know, there were 4 floors. I don't know how many. I couldn't tell you.
What kind of salary were you making for the county treasurer in Chickasha?
$60 a month.
$60 a month. So you survived the Depression okay then? So you survived the Depression okay?
Yeah, I got along fine during the Depression. I had a job.
Were there any of the big soup lines in Oklahoma City?
Big what?
The soup lines?
If there were, I didn't know about them. I think they were at the Catholic school mostly.
Mm-hmm. What church you go to in Oklahoma City?
The First Presbyterian.
Where was that?
1001 Northwest 25th Street. It's that big cathedral-like church.
When
First
did they build that
Presbyterian.
building?
Huh?
When did they build that building that's on that?
When did they build
Yeah.
it? I don't know. Boston Smith built it.
Mm-hmm. What were you doing when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor?
I was in a picture show watching a movie, and when they announced that, I thought that Orson Welles put on a show, on a radio show one time, that the Martians were coming and had everybody scared to death, and I thought that was another hoax like that. I was in the picture show at the time when they announced Pearl Harbor had been bombed.
When you found out it wasn't a hoax, what was your first reaction?
Just awe, surprise.
Did you do any work for the war effort during the Second World War?
Yes, I worked at the USO, and I worked for the Red Cross, folding bandages, and
What'd you do with the USO?
we served coffee to the veterans that came on Sunday. We'd serve coffee from 9 o'clock till 12, till they would go to church at 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. How big was the USO in Oklahoma City?
I don't know how to describe it.
What kind of building was it in?
Well, it was in a small building at the end of Civic Center. It had been built for recreation, and they used it for the USO. It was just a small one-story building.
How many soldiers would it hold?
What?
How many soldiers would the building hold?
I couldn't count them. There'd be, I don't have any idea how many to hold. They didn't all come at once.
Was there a big celebration in Oklahoma City when the war ended?
I don't remember.
What did you do in the 50s?
Worked at the Great American Insurance Company.
Oh, how long did you work for them?
33 years.
33 years.
I started in 1930 and worked till 1963 when I went blind.
Let me regress just a minute. Do you remember if there were any moonshiners or bootleggers in Chickasha?
I don't. I didn't run with that kind of a crowd.
Did you support votes for women?
What do you mean?
You know, when they were trying to get women to vote back in the 20s?
Oh, voting for women. Sure, I was a suffragette.
You were?
You bet. I wanted to vote.
What kind of, did you have any big parades or demonstrations?
No, not in Chickasha.
Yeah.
They did other places we heard about, but we didn't have any in the Chickasha.
Did you have any organizations?
No. Have what?
Like any organizations to get?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not in Chickasha.
How about on the college?
I don't know about the college.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
I had a good childhood. I didn't. We went to Sunday school every Sunday, and I don't have any special.
Did you know your grandparents?
No, they were in Illinois and I was in Oklahoma. I never did see any of them. Too many girls in the family and too many girls in the town. Too many wars took the boys.
So, never found a husband?
I was ugly.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Well, after I had my dentures, changed the shape of my face. This is all going in recording, isn't it?
How do you cut broom corn?
With just a sharp knife. It was long. It wasn't a scythe. A scythe was semicircle. But this was just a long, sharp knife, and you just whack it off.
Now, which part of the corn do you actually make the
Broom out of the top,
top?
the seed part. And you comb the seeds out of the broom corn, and the straw was left. Lindsay, Oklahoma was the broom corn center of the world.
It was.
Uh-huh. I think they grow broom corn other places now, but at that time, Lindsay, Oklahoma was the broom corn center.
You ever go to Lindsay?
You
ever go to Lindsay?
Yeah, I went through Lindsay. It was just a small town. Just a wide place in the road.
You ever go to Aaron Springs?
Aaron Springs.
That's just south of Lindsay.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think we have a good interview. Anything else you want to tell me?
No, nothing I want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you all this.
Okay, thank you.